My name is Nawaz. My question is that in our country, political leaders have started wearing uniforms so that they can encourage the cruel people to continue with the cruelty. Do your leaders do the same? Do they wear uniforms to encourage the cruel police to continue with their cruelty? Just wish to remind you that the Chief Minister of the Punjab, she wore police uniform to encourage the police to continue with the persecution and the cruelties. Do your leaders do the same? Do they encourage men and women in uniform to continue with the persecution and the cruelties?
Thank you.
Thank you.
John.
Thank you for your question. I apologize for my inability at the start to hear it. Let me make it absolutely clear. I totally support what Asma said. Democracy is not just about elections, it's about the protection of human rights. For me, that means a lot of the more cleverer governments that abuse human rights have things working easily on polling day. So people might think that it's been a free and fair election because people are able to go out and vote. What matters most is what the government that is elected in that does after it's elected. It must keep faith with the electorate by implementing a program that protects and defends that country against the abuse of human rights. It also must be a government that is not in the control of corrupt forces or military forces. That government must also be in charge of its policy of defense and its military. The military should not be controlling it. It is up to the democratic government to have its defense policy and to defend that and to control the military, not the other way about. As far as the European Union is concerned, no military people, no armed forces control the elections in our country. But let me also be honest. There are a couple of members of the European Union, in my view, would need observation missions sent to their countries. Countries like Poland and Hungary, I think it's about time that the EU as a whole took serious action against countries like Poland and Hungary who are not implementing the European acquis communautaire. But nowhere throughout the European Union is there any military body or sinister forces in control of what happens in it. The European Union is very strongly internally in support and defense of human rights. My concern is it should do more when it sends European missions to defend human rights more strongly in the countries to which it sends election observation missions like Pakistan. I do not think it's acceptable that the EU sent 3 people, 3 experts to observe the 24 election. 3 people. There's no way they could adequately do that. It needs much larger missions which put forces who are trying to undermine those elections on alert that if they do try and abuse it, they'll be caught, and that the EU will implement sanctions against them, as they should have done after the 2002 election.